All right, welcome. Today we are pulling back the curtain and taking a look at the institutional playbook. We're going to get deep into the mechanics of something called gamma exposure and really understand the hidden forces that secretly move the market. You know, those moves that seem predictable but also kind of surprising at the same time? Yeah, those. I promise you, by the end of this, you are going to see the market in a completely new light. So let's just dive right in. Okay, but before we get into the really cool stuff, we've got to do the responsible thing. Just a quick heads up. Everything we're about to talk about is purely for educational purposes. This is absolutely not financial advice. Trading options, as you probably know, involves some serious risk. So please always do your own homework and talk to a professional before making any decisions. All right, disclaimer done. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been staring at a chart, right? Maybe it's an options expiration day, and the stock price just gets pinned? It gets sucked into one specific number and just refuses to move, almost like there's some invisible magnet holding it there. Well, I'm here to tell you that's no coincidence at all. And today, we're going to break down the exact mechanics behind why that happened. Here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get right to the heart of it, something called the dealer's hedging problem. Then, we'll get into gamma itself and its two opposing forces. After that, we'll look at that really fascinating pin effect you see on expiration days. From there, I'll show you how to read the entire gamma landscape like a terrain map. And then finally, we'll put it all together to give you a brand new lens for how you look at the market. So where does this all start? Well, it all kicks off with a fundamental problem. A problem that every single market maker or dealer has to solve every single day. See, their job isn't to bet on whether the market goes up or down. Nope, they're in the business of providing liquidity. And because of that, they absolutely cannot just sit on their hands. Okay, so what exactly is this problem? Well, think about it like this. When you, a retail trader, buy a call option, you're getting the right to buy a stock at a certain price. Simple enough. But the dealer, on the other side of that trade, they just sold you that call. They are now short that contract, which means they're on the hook to sell you those shares. So if that stock suddenly skyrockets, well, you're making a ton of money, right? But they are losing a ton of money. And to protect themselves from that basically unlimited risk, they have to hedge. So what do? They immediately go out and buy some shares of the actual stock. This helps them stay neutral, so they're not betting on direction. Their goal is just to make a little bit of money on the bid-ask spread. But, and this is the absolute key to understanding all of this, that hedge isn't a one-and-done deal. It's not like they just set it and forget it. As the stock price wiggles up and down, the risk of that option they sold you is constantly changing. This means the dealer is forced to constantly adjust their hedge, constantly buying and selling shares to stay balanced and neutral. And it's that massive, non-stop rehedging activity happening across the entire market that creates these incredibly powerful and, yes, predictable forces that we can actually see. And this brings up a really, really important point. You know how you see some weird price action and the first thing people yell is manipulation, right? Well, what we're talking about here, it's not some secret backroom conspiracy. It's not. It is simply the logical, totally mechanical result of thousands of dealers all doing the same thing, managing their risk. It's like a giant machine, and once you understand how it works, its outputs become way more predictable. Okay, so how does this rehedging actually play out in the market? Well, that brings us to gamma, and gamma has two very different faces. I want you to think of them as two totally separate market regimes. One acts like a stabilizer, it keeps things nice and calm, but the other one? It's an amplifier. It basically pours gasoline on the fire. All right, you're going to want to really lean in for this next part, because this is the absolute core of the whole concept. When the market is in what we call a positive gamma environment, dealers are mechanically forced to trade against the trend. That means they sell when the price goes up and they buy when the price goes down. And what does that do? It dampens volatility. It keeps things stable. But in a negative gamma environment, the whole thing flips on its head. Now they're forced to buy as the price rises and sell as the price falls, which amplifies every single move. Let's break down the stabilizer first, the positive gamma world. So picture this. The price of a stock starts to rise. Because of how their hedges are set up, the dealers are now forced to sell shares into that strength. That selling pressure naturally pushes the price back down. Now, what if the price starts to fall? Well, the opposite happens. They are forced to buy shares into that weakness, which helps prop the price up. So you've got this constant sell the rip and buy the dip pressure from the dealers. It acts like a giant brake on the market, creating a nice, stable range. Okay, now let's look at the scary one, the amplifier, or negative gamma. Here, the mechanics, like we said, are completely backward. So let's say the price starts to fall. To keep their books balanced, dealers are now forced to sell shares right into that falling price. Well, what does that do? That extra selling pressure pushes the price down even further, which then forces them to sell even more shares. See the feedback loop? They're basically chasing the price down, throwing fuel on the fire, and accelerating the whole move. This is the engine behind those really violent cascading sell-offs we sometimes see. And all of this leads us to one of the most visible, most talked about effects of dealer hedging. And that is the famous pin we see around options expiration. It's like this powerful gravitational pull that you can literally watch happen on the charts pretty much every single week. So what exactly is a gamma pin? Well, it's just what it sounds like. It's when a stock's price gets sucked toward a big, important strike price, usually the one with the most options contracts, and it just gets stuck there. It'll trade in this super tight range right around that number, and a lot of times it closes the day just pennies away from that exact strike price. It's kind of wild to watch. And the reason why this happens is actually pretty fascinating. You see, as you get closer to expiration, the gamma on those at-the-money options just explodes. It goes vertical. What that means is that even a tiny little tick in the stock price would force dealers to make a huge adjustment to their hedge. And doing that all day is frantic and super expensive. So to avoid that chaos, their hedging becomes extremely aggressive. They sell any little pop above the strike and buy any little dip below it. And they do it with so much force that it creates this kind of invisible wall, pinning the price right in place. Okay, so now we get the individual forces, right? The stabilizer and the amplifier. So let's zoom out a bit. I want to show you how you can start to see the entire market as a kind of terrain map, a landscape with its own calm valleys, steep cliffs, and critical ridgelines. And this analogy is just so perfect for visualizing what's happening. Think of the positive gamma zones as calm, peaceful valleys. Price just kind of wants to settle down in there and hang out. But the negative gamma zones, those are the steep, dangerous cliffs. Once price goes over the edge, it tends to accelerate downwards, fast. And that line between them? That's the zero gamma level. It's the ridgeline, the critical tipping point that separates stability from chaos. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that the landscape tells you how to trade. The environment dictates your strategy. If you're trading up in that positive gamma valley, you should expect the price to stay in a range. Mean reversion strategies, like selling the highs and buying the lows, tend to work best. But the second that price tumbles off that cliff into negative gamma territory, the entire game changes. Now you should expect volatility to explode. The rules are different down there. Momentum strategies, trading with the trend, suddenly become the name of the game. All right, let's put a bow on this and bring it all together. When you combine all these ideas, what you get is a complete framework, a totally new lens you can use to analyze and, more importantly, anticipate what the market might do next. So here's a simple step-by-step way to think about it. Step 1, check the overall net gamma. Are we in stabilizer mode or amplifier mode? Step 2, identify the key price levels where gamma is highest. These are your magnets and your tipping points. Step 3, use those levels to map out the landscape. Where are the valleys and where are the cliffs? Step 4, based on that map, you can anticipate how dealers have to react. And finally, step 5, you trade the environment you're actually in. You adapt your strategy to the zone instead of just hoping the market does what you want. And really, that's the big paradigm shift. Once you get this stuff, you're not just passively watching random price wiggles on a screen anymore. You're watching the predictable gears of a giant machine at work. You're watching the mechanics of risk hedging play out in real time. You can actually see the gears turning. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Now that you've had a peek behind the curtain, now that you've seen some of these hidden mechanics at play, how is that going to change the way you look at a chart tomorrow? What new things are you going to be watching for? Something to think about.